All right, get ready for this one because it sounds like something straight out of a movie, but I promise you, it's very, very real. Imagine you marry three different men over 15 years: a quiet engineer, a passionate artist, and a thoughtful psychologist. Now, what if you discovered they were all the same person? This isn't a movie script. This is the absolutely wild, true story of Jennifer Adams, and a love story so twisted it might just change how you think about identity itself. Yeah, that's the sentence that just shattered a woman's reality into a million pieces. It's the key that unlocks this whole unbelievable mystery of memory, love, and loss. But before we can really get what that means, we've got to go back. We have to see how she even got to this point in the first place. So you got to put yourself in Jennifer's shoes for a minute. From her perspective, her life was just a string of bad luck in the love department. She figured she was just unlucky. She mourned the end of each marriage, she packed up her life, and she started fresh. All the while, she was totally clueless that the guy she was saying goodbye to, well, he wasn't really going anywhere. Okay, so let's break this down. To really get how deep this deception went, you have to look at the personas he created, the characters he literally lived as. Let's start with the first two, David Mitchell and Marcus Chen, two completely different men who gave her two completely different lives. So first up, we've got husband number one, David Mitchell. They meet in Portland. He's the classic, steady, reliable guy. A software engineer, quiet, always in a button-down shirt. You know the type. And their life was, well, it was comfortable. It was safe. But after a few years, things got weird. David became distant, distracted, and then one day just asked for a divorce. His reason? He needed to figure himself out. The split was friendly enough, but it left Jennifer just completely baffled. And that's the thing, right? That's the question that would just eat at you. There wasn't some big blow-up fight. She never found any evidence of an affair. He just faded away. This was the first little clue in a puzzle she didn't even know existed yet. So what do you do after a strange breakup like that? You start over. Jennifer does what a lot of us would do. She packs her bags and moves to a new city, Seattle, for a completely fresh start. She was ready to leave that quiet, predictable life behind and find someone totally different. And boy, did she find him. Okay, so check this out. The difference between these two guys is just staggering. And it's so intentional. She meets Marcus Chen, an artist. Where David was predictable and clean-shaven, Marcus had a beard, tattoos, and was totally spontaneous. Their marriage wasn't comfortable. It was a roller coaster, all passion, all drama. He was the polar opposite of her first husband, a perfect, total reinvention. But here's where it gets creepy. Even with this completely new guy, she'd get these weird flashes, these moments of déjà vu. The way he made coffee, a certain phrase he used. One day she just looks at him and asks, "Hey, do I know you from somewhere?" And his answer? Man, at the time, you'd think it was all romantic and mysterious, but looking back, it's just bone-chilling. Maybe in another life. He was literally telling her the truth. Well, that marriage imploded too. So now she's 38 years old, she's been divorced twice, and she's thinking, okay, maybe I'm just not cut out for this. Maybe I'm just meant to be alone. Of course, she had no idea the game was rigged from the very beginning. All right, this brings us to the final act, the third marriage. And this is where all those nagging little feelings of familiarity finally slam into cold, hard proof. This is where Jennifer's entire world unravels. So after divorce number 2, she meets husband number 3, Dr. Alexander Ross, a psychologist. Calm, mature, stable, seemed like the perfect guy, right? They get married in 2018. But take a look at this timeline. The real beginning of this whole story isn't David in 2004. Nope, it's way back in 2002. It starts with a meeting and then a tragic accident that changed everything. And this third marriage, it felt right. He was a psychologist, so he was so understanding about her past relationship failures. He seemed perfect. But then those feelings, they started coming back. And this time they were stronger than ever. Little things, the way he'd hum a song, the way he organized his bookshelf. It was all just too familiar. And then comes the moment. The moment the floor just drops out from under her. She's in his office looking for some papers, and she finds this box. She opens it. Inside, a photo of David, her quiet first husband. Then, a photo of Marcus, her passionate second husband. And then a photo of Alexander, her current husband. And it hits her. They're not three different men. It's the same guy. Same face, different hair, different clothes. And then the final nail in the coffin, the driver's licenses. Different names, all with his face. So she confronts him. And he drops the bomb. His real name, he says, is Nathan Cole. And everything, David, Marcus, Alexander, it was all an elaborate, desperate, crazy plan to get back to the woman he loved, who couldn't remember who he was. So the big question is, why? I mean, why would anyone do this? This is next-level deception. But the reason, it's not as simple as him just being a bad guy. The real answer lies in a car crash, and a medical condition that literally erases your past. Okay, so here's what really happened. Back in 2002, Jennifer and this guy Nathan meet. They fall madly in love, but just 6 months later, bam, a horrible car accident. She's in a coma, and when she wakes up, the past year of her life is just gone, wiped clean. She looks at Nathan, the love of her life, and sees a complete stranger. The doctors told him, let her go, let her start over. But he couldn't. So he became David Mitchell and decided he would just start over with her. And this is a real thing. It's a condition called retrograde amnesia. The injury didn't just make her forget Nathan. It was like a brick wall went up in her mind, completely blocking off that entire part of her life, making it totally inaccessible. And this was Nathan's twisted, heartbreaking justification. He told her that the Jennifer who woke up from that coma wasn't her. Her personality had changed. She was quieter, more cautious. So he created Marcus, the artist, to try and spark that adventurous woman he first fell for. He created Alexander, the psychologist, to try and understand her from the inside out. In his mind, he was grieving a person who was standing right in front of him. So, where do you even go from there? After your whole life turns out to be a lie, what do? Well, Jennifer's first move was to get out, but her second move was to go looking for the one person she had no memory of, herself. And she didn't hesitate. She filed for divorce, got a restraining order. I mean, the trust was just obliterated, completely gone. But she was haunted by these new questions. Who was I before the accident? Is any of that person still in here somewhere? So she starts digging. She talks to her mom, who tells her, yeah, you were different, bolder. Then she finds an old journal from before the crash. And it's filled with entries about this guy Nathan, and a love so intense she has zero memory of ever feeling it. She said it was like reading a novel about a stranger who just happened to share her handwriting. She went to a neurologist, searching for a real medical explanation, and the doctor gave her the devastating truth. A traumatic brain injury like that doesn't just steal memories. It can literally rewire your brain, changing your personality itself. The person she was before, the woman Nathan fell in love with, she was, for all intents and purposes, gone. And this is the final mind-bending realization that Jennifer had to face. What Nathan did was a massive violation. He was trying to bring back a ghost who didn't exist anymore. But, and this is the craziest part, she, the new Jennifer, had fallen in love with him. Not once, but 3 separate times, in 3 different disguises. Something essential about him connected with something essential about her, bypassing personality, style, even his name. Which leaves us with this impossible question. Look, what he did was undeniably wrong, a betrayal on a scale that's hard to even wrap your head around. But what does it say about love and identity? Was it some kind of fate, an undeniable connection that even amnesia couldn't break? Or does it prove that the identities we build, our clothes, our jobs, our names, are all just a facade? And that who we really fall in love with is something much, much deeper, something a broken brain can still somehow recognize. It's a question that just sticks with you, and it challenges everything you think you know about who you are.